and Rusedski.
We are watching a fantastic encounter here between Greg Rusedski and Scott Draper. It's level at 6-all in the first set, and Rusedski leading the tiebreak 3-2. John Fitzgerald.
Rusedski's been serving well all set, Tracy. One break point Draper's had to take the first set. It was actually a set point at 5-4. But Rusedski coming up with a very solid point just when he needed it most, and now has the mini break here. He leads 4-2 in this first set tiebreaker. First point of this tiebreaker, Scotty Draper was serving, and Rusedski hit a ball perilously close to the sideline. Scotty wanted the call. He thought the ball was out, but the call stood and gave Rusedski the early mini break. So here he is serving at 4-2. Disappointing free point there from Scott Draper on the Rusedski serve. If you get the ball back into play off that big weapon of Rusedski's, you really need to take advantage of it. So a little bit of a hole here now for the Queenslander. 2-5 in this first set tiebreaker. Trouble from that southern end a little bit for a left-hander in the afternoon. Oh, bad error there from Scott. That might be curtains for the first set. He goes down 3 set points now, 6-3, and Rusedski's got 2 serves to come. That convincing, Tracy. Hit that one coming right off the frame, and Greg Rusedski apologising, but it was all he really needed to close out that first set. He really has played a solid match here in the first set so far. 7-6 to Rusedski out on court 3. Let's go back to centre court.
Todd Martin, you can see, also successful earlier today, as we go out to court 3 and have a look at Scotty Draper and Greg Rusedski.
He needs to serve well here, Scott Draper. Down 4-5 in this third set now. It's really tightening up out here on court 3. Oh, that was a late call there for Rusedski. Pretty good forehand, struck that very well. He's not convinced. He really has been struggling in this third set. He won the first 7-6. Looked like he had a problem with a leg or a hip flexor muscle in the second set. He dropped that 6-2. He's got it back together here in the third. He's up 5-4. Draper serving. Rusedski, 2 points from this third set. Well, I think Scotty Draper there just pressing a little bit too much on the second serve. He sensed that Rusedski was going to chip that ball and charge into the net. And Scott Draper's third double fault puts him set point down here. What a way to win a set. Off the throat, that volley from Greg Rusedski. He closed on top of the net. Draper didn't see him coming. He could have thrown up the lob, but all of a sudden, Scotty Draper, after looking in control in this third set, has lost it.
This game has been a complete U. This match, I should say, has been a complete U, hasn't it? Rusedski starting off so strongly, taking that dip in the second set, and now he's right back on top of things.
Body language is completely different, Rusedski. All of a sudden, he's a man on a mission. Look at that. Been really struggling mentally for about the last 45 minutes, Greg Rusedski. Goodness, now looking like he's back to his best.
We've seen Scott, though, when he's been down at crucial times, he manages to pick himself back up and just to stay in touch.
Well, he's a good fighter, Scotty Draper. He won't lie down. He's good over 5 sets. He's won a lot of 5-set matches in his career. Look at that shot. The first serve from Rusedski there. The problem against a big server like Greg Rusedski is the fact that you have to hold your serve and hold it, and then all of a sudden you get towards the end of a set. It only takes 1 or 2 unforced errors and you're in trouble, because the Rusedski serve is so tough to break.
13-14.
Wow. This game of the fourth now. Break point to Scott Draper. And his biggest weapon saves him again. So Greg Rusedski holds serve there, hanging on in this first game of the fourth set. He leads 2 sets to 1 and 1-love in the fourth.
Scott Draper to serve in this fourth set. Greg Rusedski has the lead at 1-love.
15.
It's been a roller coaster ride for the crowd. It's been a roller coaster ride for the players. It certainly has been for us. I feel like I've been through the agony and the pain of it all with them.
Well, it's a real mental battle if you're playing a player with the capabilities of Greg Rusedski. That first serve he has is such a weapon. In a way, you always feel like you're pushing uphill. And I think Scotty now will be really disappointed deep down that he lost that third set. He looked like right up until the final stages of it that he was probably going to go up 2 sets to 1.
14.
But he is strong very mentally, Scott Draper. And as I mentioned before, he loves a long battle. He's won a lot of 5-set matches in his career. Holds serve convincingly there, particularly at the French Open. He's had a lot of success, made the 4th round there on a couple of occasions, and tends to win the 5-set matches. So I hope that doesn't put the mocker on him.
I have to say, John, I think you're a little bit obsessed with Greg Rusedski's weapon.
love 15.
Well, it's failed him on that occasion, hasn't it? But you know, so many times he really gets out of trouble with that first serve. It's a serve that you don't see too often. Plus, it's a left-hander, which makes it even more awkward. And the speed of it takes a long time to get used to.
Would be great if Scott could take out this set and force it to the fifth.
And you can understand Draper using that tactic, trying to hit the lob. He didn't get a hold of it on that occasion, but Rusedski is inclined to charge the net to get very close. And if you can pick the right moment, the lob is a useful shot. Ooh, that was big. 211 kilometres an hour, that first serve.
He's getting back to the sorts of serves he was performing in the first set, which we didn't see in the second, and not too many in the third.
Biggest one of the day there, 213 kilometres an hour. Greg Rusedski holds serve. It's 2-1 in the fourth.
We've got Greg Rusedski leading the fourth set 2-1 over Scott Draper. And the Mexican wave has developed in the crowd here at show court number 3.
Love 15.
A break of serve here would be absolutely dire for Scott Draper. He has to avoid that at all costs. First serve. Oh, that's a good forehand there from Rusedski. Things looking a little bit ominous here for Scott Draper. Bad approach, but into the strength of Rusedski. He only needed a couple of steps there to get his racket on that one.
Nice to see Rusedski smile too.
Attempt at a lob there from Greg. He might have changed his mind in the middle of this shot. Maybe thought about passing and then just at the last second decided to flick it up in the air, but it was way too shallow. Playing that hustling type of game. Tried to take Draper by surprise there. Sneaked in on a ball I'm sure that Scotty wasn't really expecting. Oh no, that's a loose error.
30-40.
And this is danger time. save a break point there. And possibly the match, because one break of serve against the Rusedski serve is... that's deep trouble. So back to deuce now for Scott.
This is exactly what we were talking about. It just seems to be ebbing and flowing. Once it's in one player's advantage, all of a sudden it shifts and the other player starts dominating once again.
It's really been one of those matches, hasn't it?
Game, Draper.
So that's 2 games all to Scott Draper and Greg Rusedski in the 4th set. Scott Draper losing the first 6-7, winning the second 6-2, and Rusedski taking the third 6-4. Now 2 all in the 4th. 2 games all in the 4th between Scott Draper and Greg Rusedski. Some of the curve he gets on those balls in his serve is quite awesome.
There's a lot of side spin, isn't there? The first serve he flattens out much more, but this second one, we might see it here, really comes around the ball a lot more. It's a lot of side spin and kick. The volley just not quite good enough. Draper making Rusedski volley up with a low passing shot, and that set up the winner down the line. And just waiting for Draper to commit there.
30-15.
That serve wins him so many points. Draws the short return. He waits for Scott Draper to run towards his forehand side, and all he needs to do is push it into the open court. Rusedski's looking better and better as this match wears on now. Hold serve comfortably there to lead 3 games to 2 in the 4th.
So a change of shirt for Greg Rusedski and a little pit stop for Scott Draper before we continue with this 4th set. Rusedski up 3 games to 2. And the crowd really trying to get behind Scott Draper to lift him, just that little edge that he needs to stay on top and take it to the deciding 5th set.
Well, there has been periods in this match that have been a little flat. Scotty returns to the court. I think when Rusedski called the trainer out midway through that second set at 4-1, 2 breaks down in the second set, things went a bit flat. Everyone thought maybe, hey, there's a possibility here Rusedski may not finish this match. He looked in trouble. He wasn't moving as well as we've come to expect from him. But all of a sudden now the atmosphere picking up and the crowd are really pumped now. Scott Draper serving here, 2-3 on serve in the 4th. This is the type of match, Tracy, if it does reach a 5th set and goes deep into the 5th, the atmosphere will really build right to the end.
You can hear it building now with every single point, and the crowds here have been fantastic. Record crowds for an opening day yesterday, and maybe even close again today. Every single match has been to capacity.
Missed it there, brushed across that ball a little sharply. That one caught the frame and was the reason it ballooned wide. Doesn't mistime the ball like that very often, Scott Draper. Maybe the backhand of the day from Scott Draper right there. Heck, sorry, Tracy, I was impressed with that backhand approach there from Rusedski. That was an absolute beauty. But Draper able to pull off a magnificent winner.
The noise of the crowd is obviously resonating right throughout Melbourne Park because more and more photographers keep pouring in. They're now lining one particular side of the court and it's going to start to fill up on the other side of the court. They know this is where the action is.
A solid game there from Scott Draper. Hey, the pit stop did him good. 3 games all here in the third. The problem facing Scott Draper, though, is that Rusedski has lifted the standard of his own serve. And Scott really hasn't had many opportunities in the last half an hour or so. 3-all. Loves the backhand up the line. That's one of his favourite shots. He opened the court up there, Scott Draper, and saw the gap. And there's still the occasion when Greg Rusedski seems to stumble a little bit when he runs. He doesn't seem to be fully comfortable. Goodness me. It was there for the taking.
You wonder how far ahead Scott Draper would be if most of those shots that he'd done had just gone a little bit out, had have made it in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Rusedski has improved his serve since that second set when he had a real lapse. Serving a higher percentage now. Well, to Rusedski in the breeze. That ball was moving around a little bit up there. And this wasn't an easy smash, a little bit awkward in the end. Kilometres an hour, that first serve. Just wide of the mark. Terrific forehand there from Rusedski. He's not a completely one-dimensional player, this man. He's got a lot of shots. He holds serve comfortably and leads 4-3 in the fourth set.
Well, the 4 amigos that have come to cheer Scott Draper on have had their hats blown off. The wind is gusting.
But Tracy, I don't think a spare seat in the house out here now. It's packed solid on court 3. And they're hoping for an Australian victory here.
15-all.
Well, Scott Draper could control the occasional wild shot that he comes up with. He'd be a very tough man to beat. 15-all here. Good second serve. Over the high part of the net. You need a lot of kick on your serve to bring that down into the court. And then flatten one out down the middle. Great variation on the first serve and the second.
40-15.
Scott Draper.
Again, Draper.
Okay, here we go.
4 games all.
Coming down to the wire now in the fourth set.
Net for service.
Oh, goodness, that could have been disastrous for Greg Rusedski there. That ball, he wasn't expecting to come back. Look at that reflex reaction there. And that turned out to be a pretty difficult volley. It was coming at a high speed there. Good control.
30 left.
Yes, that was lovely.
Big crowd appreciating this. Gets set in position. Got the weight low. Really hit through that ball. Beautiful backhand across court. Rusedski, even though he's moving a lot better than he was in the second set, just maybe a fraction slow to close on that one. An overplay there from Scott Draper. Rusedski's solid on his own service game. He holds serve. He's within one game of the match here. 5-4. He leads on serve in the fourth set.
So Rusedski leading 5-4 against Scott Draper in this fourth set on show court number 3 at the 1999 Australian Open. Scott Draper sitting down there in the break, just contemplating things, the crowd right behind him today. And Rusedski taking the opportunity for a bit of extra tape.
Changing his grip, Greg Rusedski, over a period of time. Sweat accumulates, maybe a little slippery, feels like he needs a better grip to return serve. But the crowd really trying to urge Scott Draper to victory here. There's a long way to go for him. He's down 2-1. And any slip here could be curtains. 5-4 Rusedski in the fourth set, Draper to serve. And it's always a relief when the match gets tight and it gets towards the business end of a set to get that first point on your own service game. It's such a relief. Just enables you to open your shoulders a little bit. Over the baseline. Well, I thought through the air that might have been good, but the light atmosphere here today, taking that one over the baseline. So 15 all. Goodness, that was worth a question too, I thought.
That was very close.
Scotty convinced it was out, but boy, that one was close. Yeah, and the first returner serve there, really setting that point up for Greg Rusedski. It was deep, it was hard, and it was low. Scott Draper having to make a reflex backhand there to stay in the point. Not able to come up with the goods when it really mattered on that final backhand. So 30 all now.
He's looking relaxed though. He's looking very relaxed.
On the outside, you think?
40.
On the outside. That's all you need to fool your opponent, isn't it?
Well, this is really flirting with danger. Rusedski not happy. Stood there studying that line call for more than just a few seconds. That's a mistake. Well, the serve deserved more than that. It was a beauty. Set up the point. Scott just goes the wrong way. Rusedski chooses the right side there. Great anticipation. Back to Juice. That's a shot maker. Rusedski couldn't get a big enough piece of that smash. He just hit it off the top of the frame. But a lot of poise there for Draper to make that topspin forehand when it really counted most. Some loose forehands from Draper's racket though in this game. He's missed two pretty simple forehand ground strokes for him. This match nearly 2.5 hours old now.
The crowd not just happy clapping, they're stamping their feet now.
And Scotty Draper digging deep here in the fourth set. Several times there, 2 points away from going out of this Australian Open Championship. But he holds on. He levels the score here at 5 all in the fourth. And he seems to revel in this sort of situation, Scott Draper.
15 love.
Well, the backhand has troubled Draper a little bit today. He's been catching the ball a fraction late. I think a lot of it's got to do with the high bounce on not only Rusedski's serve, but also his ground strokes.
30 love.
If you don't win the first point against the Rusedski serve, you can quickly be pushing uphill. That's good hitting from Rusedski.
40 love.
Quickly to 40 love here. Well, you sense that Scott Draper's going to have to win this set in a very tight affair. If he's going to win it, it's looking like it's going to have to be in a tiebreaker. And there is an ace. Rusedski moves ahead 6-5 here in the fourth.
Rusedski leads.
So I haven't seen any more bananas come out for the energy food. Jeff Tarango holds the record, 15 in one match.
Well, a good effort there, and the last Draper serve for Scott to hang on there. He made a couple of unforced errors on the forehand side.
And look at this with the crowd all standing now.
It's fabulous, isn't it? The longer this match goes on, the more atmosphere will build here. This crowd desperately wants Scott Draper to pull off a victory here against Rusedski. Rusedski, the number 8 seed. He's a top 10er, Rusedski. This would be a big scalp for Scott Draper. But he's still a long way away. He has to finish this fourth set off. Just a hold serve here, win it in a breaker, and then take it out in 5. Rusedski looking sharp, serving well, and he's moving better than he was earlier in the match. So Draper serving now, 5-6. Rusedski gets his racket on the ball on a wide forehand. He loves to run to the forehand, and I think that's his favourite, probably cross court. He can hit the one down the line though pretty darn well as well. I'd like to see more of Tracy from Scott Draper. I don't think he comes into the net enough. He's a talented volleyer. Loves to stay back and move the ball around from the back of the court, but coming in a bit now.
30-15.
Maybe that's the buoyancy of the atmosphere around him, forcing him in.
On the line. There's a big gap there, isn't there? Sure, Scott's heart was in his mouth there for a second. And we've got a tiebreaker.
That is sensational.
Rusedski to serve.
The old reliable, the backhand down the line. Just loves that shot, Scott Draper. So the tension building here.
Draper likes this pressure. How's Rusedski like it?
Oh, he handles the big matches well, Rusedski. Whisker.
Rusedski.
That was a tremendous backhand volley there by Greg Rusedski, a difficult shot. Draper made him play a real low one off his shoelaces. Tracy's been listening to you. He's coming in more, seeing the opportunity to force the play. And if he doesn't do that, Scott Draper, then his opponent will. So good tactics there, 1-1. A big turnaround in this tiebreaker. Rusedski looked like he was in a winning position there. He made a tremendous chip and charge off the serve. Couldn't get a big enough piece of that smash again. That's happened to him several times in this match where he's hit the smash off the frame. And Draper came up with a beauty. Stumble from Greg Rusedski.
If you've just joined, Draper has to win this tiebreak to force this match to the 5th set.
Well, not a bad trade-off there, Tracy, for Scott Draper. One double fault for one ace. I think every time Rusedski stepped up to serve in a tiebreaker, Draper would probably accept those odds. He's got the mini break here. He leads 3-2. Deep second serve.
This is heart in your mouth stuff, isn't it?
Well, it is a game of inches, isn't it? That serve just inside that service line. Drew the error from Rusedski. He was trying to force the play. He was trying to stand up on the serve, move inside the baseline. But because the serve was so deep, he was unable to control that return. And the crowd is pumped. Big point here. Correct call. Not a bad play from Scotty. Tried to sneak in on the 3/4 serve. But Rusedski came up with a fabulous backhand return there. Made that into a very awkward half volley for Draper. So we're back on serve in this tiebreaker. 3-4. Opportunity was there. Greg Rusedski had to guess one way or the other, and he chose the right way. Look at the gap down the line there for Scott Draper. Makes the wrong choice. It's 4-all. Can you believe that? 2 double faults from Rusedski in this tiebreaker. And this set is on Scott Draper's racket. He has 2 serves. He leads 5-4 in this tiebreaker. He needs 2 points to force it to a 5th. needs attention. Well, what a disappointment for Scott Draper. 2 errors at the wrong stage. I'm sure Greg Rusedski can't believe his luck here. It's looking like going into a 5th set, and all of a sudden he has a match point on his own serve. It's out. Rusedski comes through, and he is relieved.
7-6, 2-6, 6-4.
That was an absolutely scintillating match.
Number 8 seed Greg Rusedski safely through. And look at the disappointment there on Scott Draper's face. Wow, what an opportunity that slipped him by there. So Greg Rusedski moves into the 2nd round here on court 3. He wins in 4 sets, 7-6, 2-6, 6-4, 7-6.